Tonight with the untimely death of Tejano superstar Jimmy Gonzalez. Gonzalez passed away at a San Antonio hospital at the age of 67. Our Rudy Trevino joins us live tonight with more on this top story. Rudy?
Joe, Jimmy Gonzalez was a constant presence on stages all across the country, and most recently performing in Victoria this past weekend. And this morning, while in San Antonio, he became ill. Paramedics were alerted, administered CPR, and transported him to Methodist Hospital in San Antonio, where he died. Today, he was remembered by the record company he has worked for and with for the last 20 years.
It's a tremendous loss for the entire Tejano music community, as well as Latin music in general. You know, Jimmy was truly an icon.
Record company owner Freddie Martinez Jr. calls Jimmy Gonzalez a member of the family, an industry leader that will leave an indelible mark in the Tejano music industry. Outside Corpus Christi-based Freddie Records, Jimmy Gonzalez has a star along with other industry legends, an honor he earned because of his contributions to this industry.
Jimmy had an incredible impact. I mean, everyone in the music industry knows of his artistry, knows that Jimmy Gonzalez was a perfectionist in the studio, and he definitely was a perfectionist. He took his time, he cared about his music and the how it was going to be perceived by his fans.
Condolences from all over the U.S. and Latin American countries have been pouring into the Freddie recording studios after word of Jimmy Gonzalez passing. We're told funeral arrangements are still being made. His body will be transported to his hometown of Brownsville. And tonight on 3 News at 10 o'clock, we're going to be hearing more from the recording company as well as the composer who wrote many of Jimmy Gonzalez's Latin Grammy awards.
Yeah, on the late news time, I know you're putting together this special report. We can't wait to see that.
Absolutely.
Okay, Rudy, thank you.